And we are in track A for the afternoon session. It is on micro-credential. Just wait for a moment as my computer moves into full screen. And we are privileged to have Professor Karim with us this afternoon. Professor Abd Karim is a professor of food and technology at the School of Industrial Technology, USM, and he's currently the director of the Center for Development of Academic Excellence. Now, he has been teaching in USM for more than 25 years. We have a very renowned academic with us today, and he was the recipient of the prestigious National Academic Award in 2008 for teaching from the Ministry of Higher Education, Malaysia. He is also recognized as the top 50 educators in Asia Pacific 2015 by Terrapin Asia and has been awarded with the Malaysia's Rising Star 2015 award, the highest research citation in agriculture sciences or food sciences and technology. He is also the world's ranked the world's most influential scientific minds by Clarinet Analytics. And of course, Prof. Karim is a strong advocate of leveraging the internet as an alternative medium for learning and teaching. He has developed and maintained a few teaching portals, websites, online courses, and blogs related to teaching and learning and research. As of recent, his teaching videos on YouTube channel have received more than 589,000 views over 200 plus countries, with an estimated minute watch of 1.7 million minutes, or about 3.24 years, and a total of 22,200 plus subscribers. So we do really have an academician who really knows what it means by delivery online, teaching and learning, and we are honored and privileged for him to deliver the topic micro-credential today. Over to you, Prof. Karim.
Thank you, Dr. Z. Dr. Z.
Yes.
Dr. Z. Okay.
Call me Sim, Prof. Call me Sim.
Sim. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Sim. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon, everyone. All right. So afternoon session usually very sleepy, and I don't plan any interactive activity here. I just finished half a day workshop with another college professional Mara this morning. Just finished, so I just rushed for my lunch. So I hope I still have some voice to to share with you. But this is a very interesting topic. Let me share my screen. A topic that I have been advocating since 3 years now, I think. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to say that I think this year, 2021, will be a year for the micro-credential. If 2012 was declared by New York Times as the year of MOOC, M-O-O-C, then mark my word, 2021 will be the year of micro-credential. Okay, so this is the title that I put for this session today. Micro-credential in higher education, redefining learning, reimagining credential. Feel free to ask any questions. Try to answer all the questions or anything that you want to clarify on this. Now, these are the things that I'm going to cover. Learning in the digital age, so that we can see the context of where the micro-credential comes in. And I want to talk about competency-based education. So I will start by looking at the prevailing system that we have, which is so-called traditional, conventional, face-to-face system, which is time-based and so on, and moving into competency-based education, which make it more flexible. Then, of course, about the micro-credential, digital badges, and the concept of stackable credential. Before I go further, I have actually almost 100 slides. I will let you to have this slide. I will give you the link to download all the slides on the screen, so you don't have to take a picture or anything like that. Yeah. So now let's start with looking at what we have now, looking at the big picture and the context of micro-credential in the current so-called conventional system, and where does micro-credential fit in. Let's look at the prevailing educational system that we have now. Now, every year we have about, we have thousands of students post SPM applying to enter the universities in Malaysia through UPU. Do you know how many of them, those applying to UPU, get finally into the university? Any guess? A quick one maybe on the chat box. In terms of the population, how many % of those applying through UPU get into the university? So can you all just quickly type? Yeah, 60%, 30%. Come on. Hurry up. 5%, okay. 40%, 25%, 30%. All right, 30%, 60%, 30%. Okay, all right. Yeah. All right, 75%. Okay. Well, thank you so much. That's perhaps the only interaction. Yeah, perhaps I would say on average, I think around 30%. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm talking about average here. 30% managed to get into the system. Okay, there's no technical issue there. There's a dark screen just purposely. So out of those applying for university through UPU, around 30% managed to get into the system, and about 70% of them, 60-70% of them somehow could not make it. And then, so where did they go? Some of them will go, apply to private university. Some of them will go to work. They end up working, but many of them are still interested to get a formal qualification, to get into a university and get a formal qualification. So this about 30% that come through the UPU. They go to different universities, and they will enroll into the program. They will pay and they will stay for 4 years. I'm talking about a degree program here. Diploma probably about 3 years, 2.5 years. So they have to pay, and they have no choice. They have to stay in the system for 8 semesters for 4 years. Get the 120 credits on average. At the end, they will get a degree. That's it. And basically, this is what we call it formal education. They will go through the formal learning. At the end of the 4 years or 3 years, they will get a form of credential, which is a degree, a bachelor degree or master's degree if they go into master's program. And this degree is what we call Micro-Credential. It's a credential. It's an evidence of they have spent 4 years to study the program, and we assume according to the program outcome, they are competent enough to go and work. All right. So that's what's the so-called prevailing system of formal education that we have now. But remember, we are talking about only a small population, a small portion of the population, around 30%, that get this privilege for the formal education. So that's 70%. They go to work, many of them, but many of them are still interested to get the formal qualification. So what is the path that is available for them to get the formal qualification? So some of them will take, courses, will take certificate courses from different training providers, from different online learning platform, and so on, and they get the certificates. But these certificates basically are of no great value for them. It's just, a certificate, a collection of certificate. And that's what I was told by HRDF in our discussion a few weeks ago. They want this to change. They said, for many years, people take courses from about 600, I think, 600 training providers registered under HRDF. And they get a certificate after they have attended the course, certificate of attendance. But it's of no great value to them. So HRDF said, can we, do something so that now they can take all these courses and it create value for them somehow. They can use this to, to go into the a program at the university, and whatever that they have accumulated at that point, the credit can be transferred seamlessly. So basically, we are looking at how do we bridge between so-called informal learning, informal education, and whatever credential that they get through the certificates and whatnot can be recognized when they do the credit transfer, a seamless credit transfer, and this can be, they can go into the formal education and get a formal qualification. So we are looking at how do we bridge, how do we bridge this formal and informal education in such a way that now we really democratize education. That's what SDG 4, SDG, Sustainable Development Goal number 4, inclusive education. Inclusive means, even, different people from different socio-economic background, different ability and everything. They have equal access to education. We're talking about equity and so on. So now the question is, how do we create this pathway, and preferably a flexible pathway that would allow this 70% of this population that would want to get a formal qualification and get into the formal education somehow. That's where the micro-credential comes in, okay? And with the MQA initiative, MQA has been, I think, very good in this respect, because they can see, they can see how the emerging trend in terms of how we design and deliver education and providing education for the population, for the people, in such a way. So they want to make it as flexible as, as flexible as they can. Of course, we have ODL, Open Distance Learning. It's been there for some time. In fact, USM is the first in the country offering the ODL program. ODL is one of the means to provide the so-called flexible education, or alternative pathway for this 70% of the population to get into the formal education and a formal qualification. But with micro-credential, we can make the ODL even more flexible. That's basically, in a nutshell, about micro-credential. Just think of micro-credential as a means to kind of liberalize, democratize education, and to make it more flexible, to equal the playing field so that everything will have access to education. All right, so that's basically my preamble for this topic. Now, let's look at this again. When we talk about formal education, we are talking about degree program here, of course, diploma and so on, but I just want to make it simple. Let's talk about the degree program. And these are accredited academic program, okay? But of course, when we talk about micro-credential, we can also talk about a non-academic program like professional development program, upskilling and reskilling program as well. Okay, just hold on for a moment. But now I want to talk about the academic program itself. So a 4-year degree program, they are basically full-fledged comprehensive program. And the curriculum has been designed in such a way, you know, the people involved in designing the curriculum, they put in all the courses that they think would be appropriate, that would be relevant for the students when they graduate and they go to work. All those courses that they take over 4 years would be relevant. Whatever the knowledge and the skill they learn will be applicable in their workplace. But it turned out that, on average, only about 20% what they have learned during the 4 years that is, the being used in the workplace. What happened to 80%? So this is what we call just in case curriculum. We put in all the courses thinking that they will use all those knowledge and skill just in case when they work, when they go to work. Just in case curriculum. And it's rigid or time-based, meaning that once the student enroll in the 4-year program, they have to stay in the system for 4 years, 8 semesters, no less than that. 120 credit, no less than that. What happened if on the 7th semester, for whatever reason, the students quit? Would they get a degree? No. Let's say the student quit after, collecting 110 credit, only 10 more to go. Would they get a degree? No. So this is what we call all or nothing. And it's rigid time-based. You have to spend 4 years, no less than that. And this is what we call micro-credential. That's the so-called the normal accredited program, the conventional system. So what if? So this is a what if scenario. From full-fledged, comprehensive, very rigid, we can make it more flexible. And instead of they have to, enroll and stay in the system for 4 years, we can make it learning on demand, just in time, just in case, just enough, just for me, very personalized, very flexible. This is what we call learning on demand. And instead of time-based, very rigid, can we make it into competency-based? As long as I can prove that I have achieved the competency, time is a secondary factor. Instead of spending one whole 14 weeks to complete the course, I can probably take only 8 weeks to complete the whole course, as long as I do everything and I can show the evidence that I have achieved the competency. Then this is what we call micro-credential, meaning now we can redesign the curriculum. It's the same content, it's same everything, but it's a way how we structure it and how we kind of unpack it into a smaller package, and from this package into a smaller modular unit, which we can offer in a more flexible way. I'm sorry if you can hear the noise. I hope not. Yeah. All right. Now, so we are looking at 2 systems now. So one is very rigid, which is our normal academic program, and one, if the more flexible one. Yeah. So let's understand more about the reason why micro-credential now become probably more relevant now, more than ever. It doesn't mean that the traditional system will be obsolete. No, they will still be there. They can run concurrently. So if you're looking again at our traditional so-called credentialing system, the student get into the system year 1, enroll, pay, then stay in the system for 4 years until they get 120 credit hours, then yay, graduate. They get a degree. But what does that degree means to them? And what does the degree means to the perhaps the prospective employer. Yeah. So we always look at a degree as a form of credential, a recognition of learning, as a recognition of formal education. And we put a high value on the degree. But increasingly, if you look at nowadays, workforce is changing because of the technology, because of the globalization, because of the massification of education. These are the so-called driving force that change and transform how education are being delivered nowadays. And a degree, by the way, to many employers now, they say that a degree doesn't give a true depth of one's competency. The 4 year that the student or the graduate spend in the university basically does not prepare them enough to survive, in the actual work, in real life situation. Therefore, if a degree does not give a true depth of one's competency, what is? Yeah. So Apple, IBM, and Google, they said now they don't care anymore if you went to college or not. Because companies nowadays just want to know you can create more value than you take out in salary. As long as, when we take you, you can perform, you can deliver, and you can do a specific task given to you, we are happy and we will pay, accordingly, right? If you look at in the accounting area, accountancy, Big Four, the Big Four now look beyond academics. Firm wants to make offers based on potential rather than personal circumstance. So if that is the case, now if you look at how the way we are living nowadays, the internet is a repository of knowledge and people can actually learn anytime, anywhere. For example, if I go to YouTube and watch 3 minutes video and I learn one specific skill and I can perform that skill. For example, I watch a video how to bake a chocolate cake. And then after that, I managed to bake a decent quality chocolate cake. And maybe I can practice further, watch more videos, then I can bake a chocolate cake even nicer than, for example, secret recipe or whatever. Yeah. But how do I get a recognition for such a small piece of learning that I get? So the question, how do we recognize and value the way people learn in the digital world today? I don't have to go to the culinary program for 4 years because I'm just interested to learn how to bake a chocolate cake. That's all. Just enough. Just for me. That's learning on demand. But the question is, how do we, or what are the mechanisms that we can use to recognize such kind of learning? So this is where the idea of alternative credentialing, which if you really understand this and you explore into this, you will agree with me that the way I see it now, really it will create a new path, a new opportunities for everyone, every institution to really, reach out to everyone in terms of offering, various programs to them. So, why is this stock chart here on the screen? Because I want to relate my experience when I took 4 online courses to learn about stock trading. This was a story a few years ago. Why I get into this, don't worry. But started from zero. I don't know a thing about stock trading. I took 4 online courses. It took me 3-4 months to complete. Well, I don't complete 100%, but enough for me to start doing trading. Only one time, then I stopped. I just want to prove a case that I can learn online, I can acquire a skill, and I can perform. And I trade successfully for 3 times. Then I stopped. I made profit on all the 3 trades after 4 months, when I went through this course. But how do I get recognition? Probably I can get a certificate of completion from the platform, from the course. But if I were to, let's say, use this and I want to get into, let's say, business degree in one university, can I transfer the credit seamlessly as part of the, the total credit? So this is the question, ladies and gentlemen. Can I get some form of recognition for my learning and competency? So I'm trying to actually bring you to that understanding of the why behind this micro-credential, so that you can see how this fits into our current education system. And if you look at the story, how YouTube met Julius Diego, an Olympic medalist. This was in the recent Olympic, Rio de Janeiro Olympic, where this Kenyan, he got a silver medalist, but he was not actually trained by a proper coach. He learned the technique of javelin from YouTube. But yes, the silver medal is a testimony of his skill. But can he get some form of recognition here? So that, let's say, in the future he is interested to take a sports science degree. Can he use that YouTube knowledge and the proof of that he got a silver medal from the Olympic, enough for him to get a credit transfer to the academic program, to the formal qualification in the university? So he would ask, why can't I be recognized? And the same thing, the story of the man who built an arm out of scrap metal. So why can't I be recognized if I want to get into a mechanical engineering program? So ladies and gentlemen, the new credentialing system is emerging as self-directed learning continues to expand. People can learn on their own now, because they can find all the excellent online courses offered by the Ivy League universities from US and so on, reputable universities. This is not, the low tier university that offer this online program. So if everyone can do that, so how do we put together all this credentialing system in such a way that people can move from the non-formal, informal into the formal qualification, and that bridge can be established? Yeah. So as you can see here, this report, Horizon Report 2019. This report, every annual report that every year you can download free from the internet. You just Google Horizon Report. 2021 has yet to come out. Yeah, but what I read in 2021, the report that's soon to come out, micro-credential is still there in the top three emerging trend. Okay, so basically what they put there, micro-credential in the report, and they use the term modularized and disaggregated degrees. Simply means, if you look at 4-year degree, 8 semesters with certain program learning outcome. So what we can do in micro-credential, if you want to offer it as a micro-credential flexible program, it's just a matter of how we break it up into a smaller packages. And I'll show you some examples that is already being offered in some universities in the US. And the idea behind this, the disaggregating and modularizing the whole into a small pieces, is not new. In fact, the game changer back in 2003 or 2008, yeah? iTunes, remember those days when iTunes was introduced by Steve Jobs, and he's the man of great vision. Yeah, iTunes is basically allow people to buy a song rather than buy an album. So this is the same model now, the iTunes model for education and rethinking how we pay for college. The idea is this: remember those days where you have to buy the whole album to get all the 12 songs in the album, and it turned out that only 1 or 2 songs that's really good, that become your favorite song. But I have to pay for another 10 songs. Why should I? I don't want to buy the whole album. can I just buy one song? So that's where the iTunes come in. Steve Jobs negotiated with the music industries, and they get them on board. So since then, and they introduced iPod. So now everyone can pay only for the song they want from iTunes, and then put together all the song in the playlist in their iPod. So if they have 100 songs in the iPod, all the 100 favorite song of the person. So buying song instead of buying an album. So iTunes celebrated the song, not the album. Taking this on the same, applying it to our context now, can I just buy a course rather than buying the whole 4-year curriculum of the program? Or maybe can I just buy a module from the whole 14 weeks course? I'm not interested in the whole course. I'm not interested in the 3 or 4 learning outcome. I'm only interested in this particular topic and this particular skill. Can I buy only that part? That's basically, ladies and gentlemen, micro-credential in a nutshell, basically. Okay. So in the future, we will have this kind of model. 3 tiers of education. One is called streaming model, which basically, we watch the YouTube on video on YouTube and so on streaming to us. So we watch all these things, but you don't expect to get advanced material on YouTube, and they are everywhere. They are not packaged systematically. So streaming model has a limitation. Okay, but the future, I think, lies in this one, subscription or pay-per-view model. Already we have this, for movies and so on. But I think education in the future, in the form of micro-credential, will be, pay per use, pay per view, pay per module, just in time, just enough, and just for me, separating a so-called marketable academic credential from the whole degree. So if you look at the whole curriculum 4 years like a one big cake, now you can cut the cake into many pieces, and you can buy the pieces independently, standalone. But if you put all the pieces together, it can form one complete whole cake again. That's basically the concept. And now when you offer this as a separate pieces, I can buy this on demand. So learning on demand. Everything will now be very flexible, and I can sell at more affordable price because I don't have to pay for the price for the whole cake now, 70 ringgit. I just pay for one piece, 1/7 of the piece. So I can just pay, a fraction of that. Make it more affordable now. Now, the next time when I have the money, I have the motivation, I can take another piece. I can take another piece. And finally, I can put all the pieces together, and I can get credit transfer. I can get the whole big cake, a degree of the whole program. So I hope that metaphor helps you to understand this. And the driving force that really now why people are talking about micro-credential now, it become a buzzword now because of the digital disruption. The technology is there to really, promote this and make this happens. We are now becoming more and more hyper-connected. Of course, the digital divide is there. Don't start thinking about this digital divide, because if you start thinking about that, then probably you'll never get started. Just we can start doing it slowly until things improve. 5G is on the corner. Now people talk about 6G. So now with all this technology and with MQA now with the guideline for micro-credential now, they have unlocked a lot of things, and that would enable now the institution to offer their program in a micro-credential form, in a micro-credential format. And that is for the accredited academic program. But if you're talking about the upskilling program, reskilling program, then you can actually start right away. It's easier, even simpler to do compared to the accredited academic program. So now Micro-credential will make, education more flexible, affordable, and then the people can leverage the technology that they have in their hand, which is in the form of mobile devices. Okay. So learning become more and more accessible, ubiquitous learning. And, the reason why micro-credential is more attractive, because now we can segment the content into a smaller chunk, which is more manageable. This would address the so-called short attention span. Every lesson is delivered. In that lesson, probably you will have content in the form of short videos and so on. So this what we call learn in bite size. And this is where the micro-credential is actually based on the concept of micro learning, learning in small chunk, learning in bite size. Okay. Jeff Weiner, the LinkedIn CEO, he said this: this is a moment in history when people can learn anytime, anywhere, and with no boundaries. So we are living in a quite a, I would say, a significant moment in the history where the digital disruption is really enabling a lot of things. And we are also living, in the pandemic area, in the pandemic era, where now with the pandemic, everyone start to talk about online learning. So there's no better time to really embark into micro-credential because the mindset is already there, the skills are already there, and people can now see how the online learning become more and more relevant nowadays.
Prof. Karim,
Yes.
we do have a question on the chat.
Oh, sorry, I don't check the chat.
It's okay. I will help you with
Okay,
that.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So the question states that, how do we align the current academic structure with for micro-credential with the school levers in Malaysia? Yeah. And is it that, currently the current academic is not that relevant anymore?
Well, because of the nature of the flexibility of the micro-credential program, we can actually design even from if we based on the academic program that is currently being offered through the conventional face-to-face, when we unpack the curriculum and make it into smaller bundle or smaller packages that we can offer as a standalone certificate program, for example, those programs now can be tailored to various stakeholders, various groups. So it's just a matter of how we initially at the point or at the stage of unbundling or kind of unpack the curriculum, keeping in mind what are the target groups. That's why as when we do the micro credential program at the point where we do the planning and so on, we need to be clear. So there are a series of questions that we have to ask. For example, what are the target groups? What are the stakeholders? What are probably the age group that we want to offer? What kind of skill? How that will serve their, kind of for their upskilling, or is it for reskilling? Things like this. So the alignment can happens there at the point of the planning and design of micro-credential program.
So if I catch you correctly, you are talking about unbundling our current degree program
Mm-hmm.
to make it suitable for microcred, but we need to pay attention to the diversity of our target audience,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we do have another question, which
Okay.
is can many micro credentials become an ODL degree? Is it dependent on the education institution, or do we need approval from MQA?
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, previously, I'm talking about like a few months ago, until there's a directive, there's a there's a directive, bukan directive apa? The memo from MPA where previously only those program that have been offered as ODL program
Mm.
can be offered for micro credential, yeah, or any institution that have the ODL status, already have the ODL status, only can offer. But now I think the MQA has
right?
the recent one, yeah, has kind of opened up that. So I think people should grab, the institution should grab the opportunity of the kind of the apa nak kata the leeway provided by MQA there. Yeah.
Yes, that means the flexibility provided, we should grab it,
Yeah.
because
Due to the pandemic experience, I think, because now everyone has to do online, and because of that, the readiness, because to get the ODL status, actually, if you look at the ODL apa tu, the COPA tu, it's about how ready you are, how ready is the institution to offer ODL program. If you're ready for ODL, meaning we assume that you have all the necessary infrastructure, skill, everything to offer also the micro-credential program. Yeah.
So are we actually looking at micro-credentials right now as in being offered online, if we relate it to ODL?
Mainly, in order to leverage the flexibility, then you want to leverage on the online, but it doesn't have to. You can still do it face-to-face or maybe blended. If you're talking about the program that has what we call this hands-on or practical component, despite all the technology that we have now, I think the practical component is still probably have limitation. Online, you still have limitation to do it online effectively. So for such courses or for such program, then you can have in the blended form or hybrid mode, where you can offer like say 70, 80% basically online, the knowledge part online, then the practical hands-on part face-to-face. So you can do that also.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Prof. I think with that, you also answered the latest two questions concerning the mode, for micro-credential.
Yeah. Feel free to ask questions. Yeah. I can answer in between or towards the end also. Okay. Now, okay. Thank you, Dr. Sim. Right. Yeah. I just I go back one slide just now. The quote by Jeff Weiner, LinkedIn CEO. He said, "This is a moment in history when people can learn anything, anywhere with no boundaries." Why did he say this? Because because he's a businessman, he saw the potential of online education in the context of dollar and cent, because online education is really a big business. It's $1 billion business. So LinkedIn bought over a company called lynda.com. Probably some of you here know about lynda.com. They have been around for a long time. They started off with offering training program for computer-based training. Yeah, computer-based training. They are known for that. But now over time, over the years, they have expanded to cover all sort of subject. So I'm actually a student of lynda.com and now a student of LinkedIn Learning because I subscribe as a learner. Yeah, I subscribe as a learner. I pay around 120 ringgit a month, and I have access to all the thousands of courses on LinkedIn Learning. They offer very high quality courses, all sort of subject. So I would encourage you, if you have the opportunity, subscribe, and you get to learn a lot of things. LinkedIn bought over lynda.com for 1.5 billion. Can you imagine which company willing to spend that much money if they don't see the potential of online learning or lynda.com? So that's why they bought over lynda.com, because they see that was when did they buy? This news was 2015. So this is well before the pandemic and so on. They have seen the potential, the growth of online education. They are very smart. Yeah. So now, suddenly pandemic, then people now talk about online learning, and suddenly, boom, it really boosts up the online education and the business of online education. So I am a big advocate of online learning. And I am a teacher as well as a student of online learning. So I offer my courses, for example, on Udemy. I'm also taking courses on Udemy. For example, I mentioned about 4 courses on stock trading. Can you imagine the quality of these courses? With these 4 courses, I I became more competent enough to trade on Malaysian stock. Okay, and successfully also making the first trade was 25% profit, the second and the third trade about 11% profit. I'm proud to say this because I want to make a point here that learning online, people have a negative perception. They kata quality not so good, and so no, it depends on how you design the program. It can be equally good with face-to-face, even better than face-to-face. All right, so Skillshare is another platform. So if you talk about modular content, look at Skillshare as a good example. Can you see here? This is one module, one course, they call it, 2 hour, 37 minutes. This one, 1 hour, 30 minutes. This one only 1 hour, 4 minutes. Imagine if we have this eight here, 8 module, we call it, let's say 8 modules. And if I take all these 8 modules, I do all the assignment, submit everything, then basically reach the meet the requirement, I will get something called digital badge as a proof of my competency, whatever competency set out for that particular module. So if I complete all the 8 module here, I will get 8 digital badges. Now I can bundle all these 8 digital badges, and I will get a certificate in something. And I can continue on taking another certificate, and so on. Let's say I have now 10 certificate. In this 10 certificate is actually come from one full course or one full program. Then I can simply get the whole program, let's say, the diploma or a degree even. So this is what we call a stackable credential idea. So I hope you can see already how this micro-credential can be, useful. So this is LinkedIn Learning, as you can see here, LinkedIn Learning, and this Coursera, Udacity, and edX. So you can see there are 2,500 online courses from 140 top institutions here. See what are doing this micro-credential and also MOOC, MIT, Harvard, Berkeley. So they are actually taking the lead. And therefore, I think in Malaysia, I think we are still kind of into this. But I can feel since 2 years ago, this year will be a lot of institutions will come on board. USM especially we are doing. I think we are doing I think we are doing great now. Probably you will hear some announcement by May or June. So you will see things rolling out from USM Micro-Credential this year, inshallah. All right. Now, if you see the report here as of 2020, this in the context of MOOCs as well as Micro-Credential. You see, MOOCs is part of this online kind of online program that we have now, but MOOC is meant for free. MOOC is meant for free. To me, it should be forever free. The moment you pay, it's no longer qualified as MOOC. Therefore, MOOC does not have a sustainable business model. You have to talk about business because you have to be sustainable. Because to create one MOOC, you need investment there. So to make it more sustainable now, more and more MOOC providers are taking some of the MOOCs and create so-called micro-credential program. And micro-credential program is not meant to be free. It's meant to be, you have to pay to get access to it. So currently you can see here, we have 1,180 micro-credential as of what we have now, and there's a 67 MOOC-based degrees now. So you can see things are moving now in that direction. More and more universities are in US now, in US especially, Australia to some extent, Europe. Europe already have a so-called micro-credential framework. Yeah, so people are moving into this direction, and I think this is the right direction. This is not just a one-off trend. I believe it will stay for a long time. So moving forward, I can see a question.
Yes, Prof. The question is, how do we unpack existing courses? The micro-cred courses are of maybe 1 to 2 hours. Do we just look at the achievement of learning outcome and the duration is not that important?
Thank you very much for the questions. In the session today, I do not plan to really go into the so-called nitty-gritty of the design part. This afternoon, basically, I have designed my presentation more on the conceptual and giving the big picture. But of course, the answer to that, how do we unpack existing courses? That is basically the operational part, and there is where the part where we get down to work to look into the nitty gritty of unbundling and unpacking. And if you are talking about the headache is more on the accredited academic program, because you really have to look at make sure the alignment to the course learning outcome, program learning outcome. You have to look at the student learning time. Everything has to be, you do not compromise, not a bit, you really have to follow to the letters. In terms, you cannot compromise. It has to be exactly the same or maybe even better than the face-to-face program, the conventional program. So the unpacking everything, of course, there are certain approach how we can do that. But yes, we have to look at the learning outcome has to be aligned exactly. The student learning time has to be aligned, has to be same exactly. Okay, another question there. Can students who sign up for Micro-Credential for a particular module attend class together with students who are enrolled in a degree program? Say both group of students attend the class together at the same time on e-learn. Or it's more advisable to conduct separate classes for these two groups of students. Actually, the Micro-Credential program, even the Micro-Credential of the academic program, we design it. It's not is mainly to cater for the so-called non-traditional student, those the 70% of the population. Remember, that is working, they are working adult and so on. So we want to make it as flexible as possible for them. So, but meaning that they don't have to have a proper schedule like the students that are following the program full time at the university. If we do that, then we defeat the purpose. We defeat the purpose of having that flexibility. Yeah. So we want to make it flexible. We want to allow that so-called, learning on demand concept, learning just in time, just for me, just enough. They can personalize. They can, learn when they feel like it. They can take it anytime. They can, So um, at the same time, once we have the whole academic program in the micro-credential format, in the modular, unit and so on, we can also use the lecturers or the teacher or the academic can also use those modules to complement the blended learning for their full-time students that is following the program in the campus-based students. So they can use that to complement as blended learning, but they don't really look at how they can transfer credit and so on, but they just use the content or the module to complement the blended learning. Another thing that we can use the micro-credential for, once the program is in a micro-credential format, for students studying at that university, studying another program, and the students are interested to take a few modules from different program. So they want to do that because they want to add value to their basic degree, which we encourage. Yeah. So let's say I have a degree in, let's say, um, in mathematics, statistics, measuring in statistics. Then I take, let's say, a few modules on business analytics from School of Management. I take a few modules on law from School of Law, so that I have some background on law. So that can be done. So they can follow the module, they can get a digital badge, and that can add on to their basic degree. And in this way, when they graduate, they will have added value. They will have that competitive edge, to kind of get a better chance to get a job because they have more. So that's how many ways of doing. Once we have convert our academic program into micro-credential version, there are a lot of things we can do. The spin-off from that micro-credential program is many, plenty. Okay, I have a question from Nancy here. How much does USM rely on learning analytics or cloud provider to manage the students online for micro-credential as it increases resources of staff and time to manage both MC and face-to-face students? Okay, it's still early days, Nancy. We are using a platform, use open learning platform. So the analytics, everything will be based on what is available on that platform. We don't use a platform run by USM because we have our LMS in the USM server. That's already take up a lot of resources already. So for our micro-credential, we purposely use, a different platform so that we do not overburden the USM server and so on. And yes, the analytics will be very useful because we want to, um, tailor our program and strategize our program based on the demand of the students and so on. Yeah. So the analytics part is, yes, very important, and it depends on what is available on that particular platform that we choose. Yeah. If we already have from Norlia, if we already have MOOCs which are free, then why we need a micro-credential? Oh, that's a short and sweet question, but is a important question also. Yeah, if you already have MOOC, then why we need a micro-credential? Well, micro-credential program can be designed in such a way that if you put all this micro-credential module together, remember, the micro-credential just like a small pieces of cake from one whole cake. They are part and parcel of the whole thing. So if I want to get a full qualification, a degree, for example, I know that I must take all these micro-credential modules so that I can put them together and I get a formal degree. I can get the full degree. Unlike MOOC is not really designed to be aligned with a bigger qualification. No, it is never intended that way. So you can take MOOC if you want to do it, you want to take, learn just that independently. You want to get a particular skill, for upskilling or reskilling. Yes, you can take MOOC. But if you want to take the full program, the full degree program, then you can still get a credit transfer for whatever MOOC that you have done, but it would not be transparent or seamless credit transfer because it may not be designed to map directly to the program outcome. I hope you can see and make sense to you. Yeah. All right. So, okay, allow me to continue a little bit more, then I will come back to the questions. Would that be okay, Dr. Sim?
Yes. Thank you, Prof. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Just give me 30 seconds.
Prof, do you need a break? We can have a 5 minutes comfort break.
I think that will be good for the participant as well, right?
Yeah, because we are almost halfway there. It's about 3
Okay.
p.m.
I think that will be good. Let's take 5 minutes. So let's say okay, make it kita start balik
3:05 lah.
3:05.
Okay, 3:05
Okay.
boleh ya?
Thank you very much.
Okay,
I think that's
thank
good.
you.
All right. We start at 3:05.
Yes. All right. So thank you very much, Prof. Karim, for the first half of the program. We will take a 5 minutes comfort break. Can go and grab your coffee, your teh tarik, your plain water, your snacks. Yeah, and we'll see you in 5 minutes time. Thank you. Prof, Prof
Yes,
Karim,
yes.
do you want to take the question, one leftover question earlier before you continue?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, there was this. Hello, everyone. Sorry, it's 3:05 now. So we will resume with one question before Prof. Karim go on with his moving forward section. Yeah. So the question is about your opinion on the recognition of the micro-credential system. For example, if I collected my certificate from MOOC, is there any institution or MQA that will recognize it?
Yeah. Yes, MOOC, for your information, MOOC, we already have a guideline for MOOC credit transfer. If you check on MQA website, you all can download the MOOC, the guideline, GGP, I think, for MOOC credit transfer, MOOC credit transfer. So if you look at a guide for good practices, GGP for micro-credential, which you can also download from MQA website, there's a table in page, can't remember, but it's a table there where in that table it shows the 3 ways how we can offer micro-credential and people can get, student can get credit transfer. So the third way is where someone can take courses, certificates, modules from various so-called training providers from various places. So if they take MOOC from Coursera, for example, they take MOOC from edX, they take MOOC from USM and several other places, and then they want to enroll into let's say a degree program in USM, for example. They can come in through the FLA, but for them to get a credit transfer from all those MOOCs and other courses that they have taken, they have to go through the FLC, yeah, to the normal FLC in order for that to get a credit transfer, which in this case, a maximum is 30% credit transfer. So still, you can get credit transfer from all the MOOCs that you have taken through that path, yeah. But if you choose to take all the micro-credential module from one particular university, and all this actually, if you take all the modules, then put together all the badges and certificate, you can get a complete 120 credit hours transferred into the program seamlessly. So you can get a full credit transfer and get a full degree through the FLA and FLC mechanism. That is the first one. And MOOC is the third one, the third path. You can check in the GGP for guideline for good practices for micro-credential, which you can download from MQA. So the answer is yes.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. So let's, I have a few more slides. The last part of mine is, so having seen what is micro-credential in terms of the philosophy and the concept behind it, basically to make it more flexible rather than take the whole thing you can take in small pieces, just like paying for the song rather than paying for the album. Now you are paying for the course or the module. Now you're paying for the module rather than for the whole course. Then, but you can take all the module under one course, put them together, then you can get one full course certificate for one full course, for example. Then you can bundle all the certificate from all the courses of the complete program. Then you can get the full degree or the full diploma. So basically, Micro-Credential is about unpacking and unbundling the one big curriculum into a small packages and module. And then on the student side, they can take all this, bundle them together, get a full, to get a full, then they can do a credit transfer. Of course, they didn't have to wait until they get all that 120 credit hours. If after they have taken the module, let's say, uh, let's say 50 credit hours, and then at that point they decide to take the full program, they can enroll for the for the degree program at that time, at that point, and they can get a credit transfer, FLC, for a credit transfer through FLC, admission through FLA at that point in time. So they can come into the system at any point, in the beginning, in the middle, or towards the end. Yeah. All right. So I hope I have captured the essence of that. So let's see moving forward, how do we, move this. If you are at the institution level and the administrators, for example, if you are the dean, if you are head of department, if you are the deputy vice chancellor or even the vice chancellor, how do we move this? How to get started? Yeah. I'm going to talk more specifically how to get started in the MQA program. I guess it's open to public on the 22nd March. Yeah, so you can join in, and there I will perhaps go to the more operational level. This one is more on the cloud level, strategic level and conceptual. Yeah? Okay, now for micro-credential program, we can do on academic program, accredited academic program, or we can do on non-academic program for upskilling or reskilling, or we call it professional development program or even personal development program. This one is perhaps easier because it's, we are not confined with all those things that we need to comply according to the accreditation. Yeah. So anyway, let's look at this micro-credential program. Remember, I mentioned about just in case curriculum. When you enroll in the program for 4 years, take it or leave it. So you have to enroll for 100, you get 100 worth of credit hours, then you can graduate with a degree, nothing less. It can be more, but nothing less. So if you want to get started, let's say, okay, now I'm ready to look at, our academic program, and I want to unpack it. I want to do the micro-credential modular, modularize the program and break it up into small packages and finally into a small modular unit. How do I do that? So first we have to look at the curriculum. You have to look at, okay, how do I break it up into logical packages? Something that if I take this piece, one piece of the cake, I can offer it as a standalone freestanding program. And I can offer it as a professional development program, upskilling or reskilling kind of program, or even for personal development program. Because remember, I might, as a student, I probably only interested to take that piece only, to buy that piece only. I'm not interested in the, 7 more pieces in the cake. But some people might want to take all. Right? So basically, just let's say in this example, I break it up into 3 small boxes, 3 small packages. So if I divide equally 120 credit, this one would be 40 credit per box, yeah, per package. And I can call this by many names, as long as the name is not kind of, it cannot be the same with name in the MQF. apa ni, what call this, in the MQR yang so nama-nama tu tak boleh sama So kalau dalam apa tu ada certificate, we cannot call it certificate. We have to call it something else as long as the name does not clash. Whatever it is, we can call it with whatever name: advanced certificate, professional certificate, executive certificate, and whatnot. And in each of this package, you will have a number of courses, and then for each course, you will break it up into smaller module. And of course, when you talk about the credit hours, the student learning time, and so on, you have to distribute it accordingly. But if I put all these three boxes together, it will go into one big box again. So this is what we call it: stacking and unstacking, stackable credential, unpacking and repacking again on the institution part or the training provider. They will unpack the whole program into smaller packages. On the students' side, they can choose to take only one package. They are not interested to take another two packages, or they can only take 2 out of 3, or they can only take only 1 or 2 module within each package. It depends on what they really need. That's what learning on demand is about, But if a person has a plan, these are working adult, has a plan to take the full degree. So they have they are eyeing to get the full degree, and they can see on the information on the platform, the learning pathway. They know that this program consists of 3 certificates and consists of X number of modules and X number of digital badges. The requirements are stated very clearly, and then they will plan, but again, it's still flexible. They can plan to take the first package within the time that they have, and so on. And finally, when they completed everything, they can get a full qualification and credit transfer through the FLC and admission to the FLA. That's basically what in a nutshell, the micro-credential program can be designed. Okay. Then each of this package can be offered as a freestanding and standalone. But if they plan to put everything together, the learning outcome, everything has been aligned and mapped to the whole program. So there is no issue there. 100% credit transfer here. So let me check any question at this point. Offers. Dr. Sim, do you see any questions?
I see a question that I don't know how to answer.
Is it the last one?
Yes, yes.
How do we join the event mentioned
on 27 March?
I think they will issue they will release the announcement soon. I don't know where you can see on MQA website, but on my side I will share on my social media. So by the way, that's good. Maybe if you are interested, maybe I just mention very quickly.
Follow Dr. Prof. Karim. Yeah.
Follow me. Follow me on this Facebook group where I am sharing a lot of useful stuff. Facebook group, especially aspiring young academic. Don't worry about that young part. It's actually open to everyone. Because by my definition of young, as long as you below 70, you are young.
So 70 pun young juga, Prof.
Yeah. Okay. So,
that's comforting.
Yeah. So on the serious note, if you join this group, whatever I always share any event and so on this group, and I'll be sharing a lot of useful resources also. So please come and join the group. Yeah. So yeah, that's one way how you can see the announcement for the MQA one. Someone. Dr. Sim, you.
Yeah. Facebook. Dah jumpa dah. Yes, I saw your face there. It must be the right group.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's talk about the micro-credential approach. Very quick one. Very quick one. Let's say we are talking about the academic program, 120 credit hours. So break it up into packages. Break it up into packages ni, of course, kat situ tu, you have to sit down with your people and then, okay, let's see how. macam mana kita nak, itu banyak, there's a longer story there lah. Okay, then after that you zoom into course level, and then you do the so-called modularization of the course, and then basically each module will carry a digital badge. And for example, here I'm showing a real digital badge from Microsoft. Yeah, some of you probably already got this digital badge and recognized as an MIE fellow or Microsoft one. Yeah, so basically this is a concept. But remember, each digital badge here represent the module that the student have completed, and the learning outcome of this are actually mapped to the PO of the whole program. Therefore, if the students have intention to take the full qualification, all they need to do is take the module, slowly, and accumulate the digital badges, and therefore accumulate the credit, and finally they can transfer into the whole program should they want to take the whole program. On the other side, when I talk about program, it can be academic program. It could be like your one-day short course program that you have been doing for so long, but face-to-face conventional, or your workshop, like a few days workshop, or your executive program, a few weeks kind of executive program, which you can also unbundle, unpack, and make it into online modular program. Now, instead of the people have to come for one full day at the venue, they have to pay for the fee, they have to pay for the hotel, they have to pay for the traveling and so on. So that will inflate the total cost. Why not now, instead of that one day face-to-face, you break it up into, let's say, 6 modules of 1 hour each. Now, instead of paying 1,000 ringgit for the one full day program, they can pay like, let's say 600 ringgit lah, senang 600 ringgit for one full day. So 6 modules, 1 hour each, they pay 100 ringgit for per module, and they can take it at their own sweet time, at their own pace. So that will make it more affordable, more flexible, and finally I still can get the full certificate of that particular program. Don't you think this is really a powerful way of making this thing more flexible?
Prof, ada soalannya. Is there a fixed time to complete the full program? So we collect, ada time limit?
Good question. Common FAQ questions. Okay, if we really understand the philosophy of doing micro-credential, we want to really make it very flexible. But how flexible is flexible? It depends on the program owner. Yeah, if you really want to have or make it very flexible, there is no time limit basically. If you want to take for the whole module of, let's say, one day program, 6 module, and you take it at your own time, if you are a very highly motivated student and you really want to get a certificate, that 6 hours I can do it in one weekend, done. But if I'm a very lazy one, not highly motivated, but I want to get the full certificate, so I will take the 6 module in 6 months, one module, one month, one module, because I can only afford to pay 100 ringgit per month. I don't have much extra money. Okay, but as a course provider, what would be the reasonable maximum time limit that you want to allow? It depends. Maybe if the program is kind of very dynamic, the content is very dynamic, always changing, like computer science, things like that. Yeah? So you might want to limit the time. They say, okay, this module is only valid within certain time. After that, we will, we will change the module to update the content, everything. So yeah, that's the answer. Is there a fixed time to Yeah, that's the answer for Aura Matias questions. Yeah. Okay. Now let me just continue a bit more. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think 2021 and beyond, I'm very. I thought I have updated this. Maybe it's a different slide. It's 2020. It's supposed to be 2021 there. So the scenario in 2021 and beyond, I would envision this. We will have, for academic program, I'm talking about academic program here. For the academic program, we will have the accredited academic program conventional face-to-face. It will still be there. But at the same time, we will have the micro-credential version of that same program, but for different target group. We are talking about that 70%, those people that are working, adult learners, adult working people that have intention to take the full qualification. So we are giving them, remember I mentioned about the bridge, to bridge the formal, informal or non-formal education to the formal education and formal qualification. So they will be running concurrently. And then depending on how you unpack your program, you can just remember the whole cake. Now you cut into 5 pieces, for example. So each piece of the cake now can be taken out and offer it as an independent, standalone, freestanding program for the purpose of upskilling or reskilling or lifelong learning. Okay, so that's to me the scenario in 2021 and beyond. So we are moving from the so-called very rigid time-based program to just in time, just enough, and just for me. So I want to illustrate. This is actually a real thing that I hope within 2-3 months, USM will embark on this, a program with the industry where we can offer our degree program to the people working in that particular industry. And these people, they are managers and so on, but they don't have a degree. They came in through SPM and they rise up through rank and file, but basic qualification is still SPM. So this is a very good organization where they want their people to get a degree. So so now they want the people to get a degree from USM. So we have to create a pathway for them through the micro-credential program. So if you look at this, a degree program at the end here, so we kind of break it up into 5 packages here. And in each package, we have an X number of courses and X number of modules. So the people will take one, the module in each package once they have completed, let's say, the level 1 here. So they will get X number of digital badges. And after they have completed, let's say in here we have 10, they get 10 digital badges, and then they will get 1 so-called professional certificate. And they will carry on doing that. And they are still working full-time. And they are doing this at their own pace, their own sweet time, unless the company put a time limit for them. They will say, okay, you must finish this within 6 months or so, yeah. But in the end, after they have completed the 5 packages here, they can put, and this where the stackable credential concept comes in, put them together and they can get a credit transfer, admission through FLA, credit transfer through FLC, then they can get a full degree program. This is what we call creating a flexible pathway from professional certificate to a degree.
Prof. Karim?
Yes.
There's a question. If a learner takes micro-credential 100% from academic program, does that mean he or she has to register at the institution only for the purpose of credit transfer?
Finally, yes. If you want to get that degree, of course, a degree is awarded by
an institution.
An institution. So, but I think the question is more of when should I
register?
The answer is your choice. You can register at the very beginning. You can register in the middle. Even you can register towards the end. But the moment you register, you have to come through, assuming that you don't have the necessary minimum qualification. So you have to come through the FLA, then the credit transfer through FLC. And it may not be the current FLA and FLC. I think MQA is looking into the so-called modified version of that to suit the micro-credential. Tentatively, they call it FLA plus and FLC plus. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Prof. No, there was a comment to say
Can you hear me?
that cannot hear, but I can hear you loud and clear.
What about others? Aligned with lifelong learning. Yeah. All right. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah.
There's one more. Is there any minimum entry requirement for micro-credentials?
No.
The institution sets it, right?
You don't set the requirement for the micro-credential itself, because later on, once they have, remember, the concept of micro-credential is competency based. Is competency based, meaning that regardless of what's your qualification, if you take this module, you do the assessment, everything, and you complete everything, and you have achieved the minimum standard of competency as set out by the instructor, then you have demonstrated your competency. That's all. That's what competency base is about. So there shouldn't be, in my opinion, perhaps you want to put some prerequisites so that the student would not find it, would not do the, would not regret when they pay for the module. So we want to make it clear, okay, prerequisite for this program, preferably you must have this, yeah. But it cannot be kind of a compulsory thing, I think, because the moment they have completed the module, they got the digital badge. So when they want to do credit transfer, so at that moment, the admission is actually using the FLA. Okay, so that is where the admission requirement is. At the point when they register, they have to take the FLA. Okay, so if I can proceed. Okay, now this is a real example of on the edX platform. You can have a look. The so-called micro bachelors, and this already trademark, ya. So kita tak boleh gunakan lagi micro bachelors term. Programs for undergraduate education. So from name, it implies what? The whole bachelor 4 year has been kind of break it up into a smaller version of it, maybe 4 micro bachelors. If we put together the 4 micro bachelors, it becomes full bachelor program. That's the idea. Yeah. So this is where the concept of micro-credential is. So they call it micro-bachelor's program for undergraduate education. Boost your skill now, earn college credit for your future, affordable, real college credit, 100% online, no application. No matter if you have some or no college experience, micro-bachelor's program are built for adult learners looking to progress their career. Created by top universities and influenced by Fortune. List all these marketing things, yeah. The only path to a bachelor's degree that make you job ready today and credential along the way. So this is where I can see the opportunity, great opportunity for micro-credential for our academic program. When you modularize your program, one whole course, let's say 14 weeks equivalent, you break it up into small module. The content is chunked into small module. Now you can actually invite people from industry, for example, to develop 1 or 2 modules in your course, so that your course has the relevancy, current, and so on, that kind of align with the industry requirement. And it's easier than getting industry people or specialists or whatever to develop the whole course. you just ask them work together, collaboration, where they only develop one small module, one module or two modules from the whole module in the course. So there is to me the the opportunity that we can use we utilize there. So you can see affordable at around $160 per credit. edX micro-bachelor's program are one of the most affordable ways to access college classes, flexible and relevant. That's actually the selling point of micro-credential. We talk about flexibility. We talk about making it more affordable. Yeah. So, for example, here, even master's program now is already available, and this on Future Learn. Yeah. Find a degree, learn flexibly online, pass the assessment, earn a degree. So the next time when you hear someone get a degree, online degree, don't simply online degree as if the online degree is not that good. No, I think in the future the online degree can be as good or even better. It's not impossible. So the rise of credential, just quickly, yeah, open badges create a bridge from college to careers. That's what I mentioned just now. So maybe now I think academic institution or even private training providers, HRDF is certainly looking into this. They are looking into micro credential. So we want to reimagine credential. A degree is not the only form of credential now. So think of micro-credential as a micro-certification in a specific knowledge area or skill base. So I will skip this part where you can experience. I show some example of what micro-credential means and what the modules mean. So in the end, once you have completed the module, you can get a digital badge. Then once you have completed, let's say, a set of digital badge, you can get a certificate. Then you can carry on doing that. You can get another certificate in related one. And the way we design, maybe from the whole course or the whole program, we can divide it into 3 packages into 18 digital badges or 18 modules in this case. And when I completed all these 18 modules, I get 18 digital badges. I stack all these 3 certificates together. That's stackable credential. And I get a, a bigger qualification. In this case, we call it Advanced Certificate in Food-Based Products. That's, ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, how this micro-credential works. And this is what we call stackable credential. And this is one example of how it will look like. So this is a student here. So this is a dashboard or the portfolio or the e-portfolio, some information about the learner. And in this case, you can see this perhaps a good student here, good learner, because he has a string of digital badges there. Okay, and then no issue of fake digital badge, because the digital badge can come with the blockchain technology to verify the authenticity of the digital badge. So this is an example of a real digital badge. Yeah, a real one means from a real digital badge provider. So when let's say the employer, they want to verify, they click the digital badge, then they can get verified. So it goes to the blockchain, verified. Then the employer can click also to get details. So they can click here, view live credential. And in that one small digital badge, it contains more information than the full transcript of the degree can have. That's the beauty and the power of digital badge. I can include the artifacts of my learning activities, learning assignment, everything, my CV, my full CV here, everything can be embedded in this one small digital badge, and that is actually a recognition for knowledge, skill, competency, my achievement, everything. So that's what micro-credential is. So, ladies and gentlemen, a degree doesn't say a lot. It's just a piece of paper and a transcript A, B, C, D. But a digital badge can say even more, it is more useful in that sense. So finally, would digital credentialing disrupt traditional credentialing system? Well, I think yes, in my opinion. And this is a document from UNESCO that you can download, the PDF, the full PDF, very comprehensive document, digital credentialing implication for the recognition of learning across borders. And this is the GGP guideline on good practices for micro-credential, which again, you can download from MQA website. And this is already a reality. So you can see if you go to LinkedIn, if you search, for some people, some of them would display their digital badge on their profile, and the employer can simply click the digital badge and find more information about the person. Okay, and we can do also my credential for professional development program. So you can see here, we can design in this way where industry can actually also design part of the modules because it's very modular. Yeah, modular is the advantage of modular. We can put, add, delete, omit very easily. Yeah, and these are only some example. I think I will skip this part. And expected challenges. Well, if you want to embark on micro-credential, of course, as in anything new, you have to go through some challenges. So we just have to address this challenges. These are some of the issues or questions raised by people. But I guess it's not really a big deal. Okay. Finally, take home message. I believe, well, I may be biased in my opinion here because I'm a strong advocate of online education, online learning, micro-credential, MOOC, OER, open educational resources. But after so many years, 26 years now in education and doing online, I think I can say with strong conviction that this is the way forward. If you don't jump on the bandwagon, I think you will be left behind. To be left behind is it's not really a big deal also, but by being left behind, we are not really utilizing and leveraging the power of online education and how this micro-credential can really, so-called democratize education and make things even more flexible so that we can have create more opportunities for people out there to get education. So micro-credential is really, to me, I look at it as enabler to support flexible education and lifelong learning. It's really a real game changer. Number two, leverage technology to provide learning on demand opportunity through stackable credential. There'll be a lot of spin-off from here. If we properly design, the spin-off is huge. And finally, I see micro-credential not to substitute the existing academic program that we have or the traditional way of how we deliver training, for example, but rather it is to complement what we have. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, my standard slides to end the presentation from Steve Jobs here. Stay hungry, because if you stay hungry for knowledge, you will continue to learn. Stay foolish, because if you stay foolish, you stay creative, you stay crazy, you can come up with great ideas. And for me, as usual, stay strong, because you really, if you want to embark on online education, for some people, have to go through a steep learning curve. So you really need to have a long, a strong stamina and energy, and to be persistent in order to materialize your micro-credential program. And this is a slide maybe that you want to take a picture here, because there's a link. There's a link there. Maybe I can paste the link dalam chat. The link. Oops. Dah habis tu. Do you get the, okay, I copy the link and put it in the chat. Okay, that's the link to download my PowerPoint. And all my PowerPoint slide, or most of them are CC-BY, as you can see here, CC-BY, which simply means is the Creative Commons license, which simply means I have granted you the permission to download, to use, to modify in whatever ways you want. You can even sell the slide if you wish because it's CC-BY. Seriously, yeah. The only thing is do not remove my name. That's the only requirement. So permission granted, do whatever you like, but do not remove my name. So with that, thank you so much everyone for your attention, and let's see if you have any question. I think you can ask directly kok ya.
Yes, thank you very much, Prof. Karim. Memang ada satu soalan.
Okay.
There is a mention about minimum entry requirements in the Garis Panduan Micro-Credential. So what I did was I opened up the document and
Once again, can you repeat this one? Where's the question?
there's it's somewhere up there. Because previously Prof. Karim mentioned that we should, when possible, yang tak letak entry requirement atau prerequisite for micro-credential.
Okay. All right.
But over here, the participant, Maria from Sunway JB, I believe, mentioned about there is a minimum entry requirement in GGP micro-credential.
Which page? Okay, GGP. Can you?
Yeah. Should I put there? Is it this one? I found this text. Let me just make it bigger.
Yeah, make it bigger, please. However, the entry requirement for, okay, the learner must meet the minimum requirement for the program or possess appropriate FLA certification. Itu FLA tu. Itu ada FLA. So you,
Maria, kalau saya, if I'm at the wrong page, yeah, you let us know. All right. Okay, Prof. Karim, sorry.
Yeah. Now, bila you ambil that module independently, there shouldn't be a certain requirement, mungkin prerequisite, supaya when you take that, when you follow through the module, you tak struggling lah kan. So some prerequisite, but it shouldn't be a normal requirement, wajib, tidak. Tapi once you have taken all this module, you get the digital badge, which is a proof of your competency. Bila you nak transfer credit nanti, at that point, yang you kena ada FLA certification. Yeah? Itu.
Yes. So if I can, so Maria, this is page 10. I checked the page number. So this is the paragraph. So if I can paraphrase Prof. Karim, yeah, it means that at the point of doing micro-credential, we don't have the like prerequisite or requirement macam tu. But when they want to convert this using Appel A, then they need to meet the minimum requirements as per Appel A, correct?
Yeah. Oh, I noticed Dr. Andy is here. Andy. Dr. Andy.
Yeah, Dr. Andy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Hey, you tolong saya lah.
Yeah. I actually put it in the chat just now. It's actually meant for the exit point. And when a learner exit, we would probably look at whether the learner has any formal qualification, or if the learner doesn't have any formal qualification, this is where we look at assessing the learner through an Appel MC, which I think MQA will start devising this Appel.
Dr. Andy lah yang akan buat tu. You are the one who will do the Appel A+.
Yeah. A+, yes. It's the special Appel entry level for micro-credential.
For your information, Dr. Andy is one of the person responsible for this GGP.
Yeah, Dr. Andy was our workshop #1 punya speaker.
Okay.
I was with them this morning, Prof. Karim.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so okay lah, Dr. Andy. Okay, the rest of the session question, please answer.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yes, Maria.
Yeah.
So Maria was just saying learners should be informed at the point of entry lah.
Yes, that is
before.
exactly.
Yes.
Especially if their intention is to go for the unbundling of the accredited programs.
Yeah, I remember we discussed about that.
Yeah, correct, betul.
So who will take that responsibility? Kita kata the institution
the
ataupun
institution,
the
right?
provider.
Yes, exactly.
Somehow on their website ke apa ke, kena jelas lah maklumat tu.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So,
yes. Thank you very much. Tapi jangan pergi dulu, kita kena ambil gambar. Yes. I mean, if there is there any other questions? I think we had a very good discussion today. And I think, you know, moving forward, mungkin kita boleh buat apa? Buat training macam mana nak unbundle, because that is not a easy task, I believe, to meet the to make it accessible for people of different levels. Yeah,
Okay. Since you mentioned that,
ada advertisement.
Ada advertisement. Sekejap, tunggu sekejap.
Tunggu sekejap, tak apa.
Please bear with me. Sekejap lambat pula.
You have the orang otai here, Professor Karim on MC.
Otai dia, Dr. Andy lah. Okay.
You should look at the USM website that he has created. Fantastic.
Prof Karim, ada satu masalah kecil.
Okay, what's the problem?
Let me check again. No, tak ada masalah. Ada. The bit.ly link is not working.
Alamak. Oh yeah, okay. Let me check. Why?
Tak apa. You buat advertisement dulu. Nanti baru check.
Okay. Alright. Let me share this screen again. Okay. I am sensing the need, because I know people who want to embark on micro-credential ni, the operational part tu, the nitty-gritty part of unbundling, unpacking, SLT, especially for academic program. For non-academic program, no issue. Yeah, well, dia nak tahu juga lah macam mana design kan. So, we my colleague Dr. Azida and I, we are writing this book. Tajuk dia a practical guide for micro-credential developers. So basically the how-to lah, the how-to. So wait for this book to be published in perhaps end of May this year. Okay. And it's not free, but we are hopefully we will publish this book very soon.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, the link not working.
I am not sure. There is. I tried to type it. There was another participant who said that it's working.
Let me check. Give me a few seconds.
Sure. For the other participants, I think we enabled you. Oh yeah, Aura. So it's working for some people and it's not working for some people. Interesting.
If it works for some people, then it should work.
Okay.
So
maybe you should try at home.
How do I help those who are not able to download? Let me paste the link again. It should be the same link.
Yeah, I guess because I do see a few responses that say they can download. It's a PDF file. It opens to a PDF file.
All right.
So I believe that should be okay then.
Yeah, wait. I can do this very quickly. Just give me a few seconds. I'll create another link here. I will create another link.
Maybe the secretariat can circulate to us later. And we are all ready to take the pictures, all smiling there.
Well,
yes,
you're all smiling.
Dear participants.
Yeah, they can on the video and start putting on the most beautiful, charming smile. Prof Hanim is up.
Okay, it's a micro-credential. Okay. Let me just ambil link direct from my Google Drive. Yeah. Micro-Credential.
No stress, Prof. No stress.
Yeah.
No stress.
We are waiting. We have about 100 participants here. So, yes.
Okay, I got a new link now. Copy link. Okay, go back to Zoom.
Those using virtual backgrounds.
Okay, now I've given the direct Google Drive link. Try that. For those who failed to download today, please give it a try. Tengok ada masalah tak?
Thank you so much, yeah, Prof. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, I have my first page full with people in their, in their little boxes. I have 4 pages that I need to go through. So please maintain your sweet smile, yeah? Okay, and just look into your camera.
Okay.
And ya, tunggu sekejap. Okay. Hang on.
I have taken the photo from my side also.
Oh, Prof, you are faster than me. I'm just done for one only, Prof.
Oh, there are 4 pages, huh? Oh, yeah.
Yes,
There are
4 pages, 4 pages,
okay.
4 pages, huh?
Okay, I'm on second page. Third page, no camera. So we are on the third page now.
Hang on.
Semua ukiran manis, senyuman manis ya.
Dr. Andy bermain dengan perkataan ya.
Dr. Andy good with pantun.
Yeah, dia pandai pantun no.
Oh yes.
I remember in one conference, he was the speaker before me. Then he started to pantun. Then I got panic. Then
So
quickly,
did you answer his pantun?
I didn't answer, but I came up with my own pantun lah. He really put me in a difficult situation at that time.
It was last year, I think, seminar education, flexible education, last 2 years, I think.
Last year kita duduk rumah je.
2019, I think.
2019.
Time flies by so
Time
fast.
flies, yeah.
Yeah. Just tunggu, wait a bit more. I have still one more. Prof. Karim is faster than me, okay?
Yeah, I'm done already.
Okay. All right. Just hang on for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We do need so we have done the group photo. I also need your feedback and cooperation that we are having a survey form. So this survey form is for the whole workshop session, both session conducted by one by Dr. Andy and the other one by Prof. Karim. Okay, so if you can just scan this QR code, or I will type this link. You can just click on the link as well and provide us your feedback. We will definitely love to hear from you on what did you enjoy, what did you learn, what do you think can be improved from our organizational perspective, yeah? And of course, any other areas that may interest you that we can also feedback to the QA and committee members for the upcoming years for 2022 seminar, yeah? So we will just spend about maybe 5 minutes doing this. Yeah, and while waiting for you to do this, don't forget our seminar for tomorrow starts at 9:30. Most of the participants registered for 2-day seminar, which is the first day is today and tomorrow would be the second day. And welcome address by Professor Dr. Rosia, who is the president of Malaysia Higher Education Institute Quality Assurance Network, or MICAN, would be at 9:30. We will open the room at 8:30, so you can start coming in at 8:30. Yeah, but the first address is at 9:30. We would also like to share with you, we managed to do a small compilation of this morning session Sorry, Prof. Karim, afternoon session, we didn't make it to the video yet. So we will share the afternoon session's reflection tomorrow morning before you join the workshop. So I will invite my colleague to play the video for today's session.
Oh dear, caught in action. Learning of the students. Applications submitted in the respective instruments that are adopted.
Like distance learning. What are the things that we need to adhere? What are the project management tools like Trello, Caswell, Google Drive, right? And the soft skills
in terms of teaching and learning methods, assessment.
Now, sometimes universities get a very competitive mindset, and there's this curriculum. What will make the best pathway? There will be issues.
Hi everyone, mabuhay from the Philippines.
Hi, welcome.
Learning of the student.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you to Prof. Karim as well for delivering our session this afternoon. If you are done with the feedback, you may leave the session and we will see you tomorrow morning.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof. Karim. Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Prof.
Andy,
Karim.
for coming
Thank
back
you.
in.
Thank you, Dr. Sim. Thanks, Prof. Karim. See you again. Thanks, colleagues.
Again.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.